Lori, would you like to get us started?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Meyer, Senior Director at Manhattan Strategy Group and Project Director for STAR. I want to welcome you today to the official launch of the new STAR platform. We are all very excited to be here with you today. I know that you've been hearing about this effort, some of you for probably nearly 3 years now. So I just wanted to give a very brief reminder of why we're here today and to set the stage for Cheryl Donahue and Cameron Christie, who will lead our webinar. So up until today, STAR operated on what I like to think of as a remote island. It was a standalone training platform, and we rebuilt a near replica of STAR using a new platform in what I like to think of as the Links cul-de-sac. And this is really to provide all of you with a one-stop shop for all things adult education related. So our goal was to maintain the fidelity of the training so that content has not changed. What has changed is where and how you access the training, as well as some minor improvements throughout. So many of us have tested the platform to ensure everything is working, even up into and through the weekend. So including some longstanding STAR users, some people who've never used STAR. We really let a lot of people in to try to break it. It didn't break. That's good news. We're still working on a few lingering 508 compliance issues. We anticipate those will be resolved in the coming weeks. That said, it's technology. So we anticipate that as more and more users enter the new platform, you all might identify some major glitches here and there. So I ask you, if you see something, say something. We have a number of people here on hand to support you. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Cameron for our show and tell. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thanks, Lori. So just to give you all an idea of what our agenda is today, we wanted to make sure that you all had an idea about what this platform looks like. So you can see what is familiar, what is a little bit different. This is the first chance for you to kind of get in, see what's new, what's the same, and ask some questions before we let you in and you start navigating through with us in the next webinar. So today we are going to walk through signing up for a Links account, signing into your STAR course, looking at what is new in the STAR course and what's the same, looking at where the resources are. Then we'll talk about your cohort and team creations, what you need to do to get that started. And then we'll talk about next steps ahead of Thursday's webinar. So I'll turn it over to Cheryl to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Donahue. I am the IT subject matter expert. I've been working with both sets of content creators and developers to get this project onto the Links website. I'll just share my screen and walk through some of the steps to access STAR and to work through STAR on the Links site. So let me just do that now.
1 second. We're going to we'll talk through it first and then we'll show you. That way we've got all the directions written out in our recording and then we can walk through it.
Okay.
So as Lori mentioned also, I'm Cameron. I'm the project manager for STAR and I've been working with a lot of you and getting things kicked off and ready, trying to help you all schedule to make sure you can get into this with as little interruption as possible. So I'm excited that we have a chance to move forward today. So let's begin by signing up for a Links account. You probably already received an email from me with these steps on how to sign up for a Links account if you don't yet have one. If that's the case, then great. If that is not yet the case, then what you'll want to do is go to the website at links.ed.gov. You'll select the community tab at the top. You will select the My Links tab and then a Create New Account tab. If you already have an account, but you have forgotten what your password is, or if your password has expired, then you can go to follow the first 3 steps. And next to the Create New Account tab, there is a Forgot Password tab or Reset Password tab, and you can choose that. So as you get started for that, what you'll need to know is a unique new username, a new email address, and a first and last name. If you have used an email address in the Link system before, rather than try and create a new account, it will not let you use the same email. So you might just want to reset your password. If you are trying to use a new email, you will need to have a new username, just as a heads up. And then signing into the STAR course. Once you have your Links account, then you will log in under links.ed.gov, go to courses.links.ed.gov, click login again. Enter your username or your email and your password and select login, and then find STAR under courses on the left side of the screen. So now that we've walked through all the steps, we're going to switch. Cheryl can share her screen and we'll actually go through signing in through each one of those steps.
Okay. We've talked about it. Now we will do it. So can everyone see my screen? Can anyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we're on the Links community homepage. And from this page, you would log in. And this is my trainer, CD Test2. And once you log in, to get to STAR, you need to go back to the courses page. And if you just click the login button again from courses, you'll see the STAR link to the STAR course over in the left-hand menu. Click on the STAR link. And this is sort of the familiar trainer dashboard with your list of teams. You've got the STAR menu on the left-hand side, bringing you to all the STAR info. And something that's a little bit different is the menu under your username is your main links menu. So all of these links pertain to the broader link site, not the STAR site. To access anything STAR, use the left menu here. And you can go to My STAR Info, brings you to the more familiar STAR information dashboard.
That is a great question. So Yvonne just asked if you should have access to the STAR course now, or if that will be added. You will be added this week. I have next steps for you at the end of this webinar for requesting to be added to the STAR course that we will be using for Thursday. So you should not expect to have it there already. The Links account is your first step, and you can do that now. We will add you to the STAR course after the webinar is over. While we're here, are there any other questions about account sign up, about account sign in, or about STAR course login?
Hi, this is Carla in Wisconsin. About if I already have a Links account, can I use the same? I should use the same email sign in account name, correct? And then
Yes.
and then go in and it sounds like for STAR though I'll have to change the password.
You will not have to change the password. I have heard many people who have a Links account who might have forgotten their password, and I know that you need to change your password on a regular basis with Links. So it may be that your account your password has expired if you don't use it that often. So yes, if you do already have a Links account, you do not need to make a new one. You will not want to make a new one. This will link to your existing one.
Got it. Thank you.
That's a really great question, Jenna. Jenna, I would reach out to the Links help desk about updating your email address. And they can help you with your Links account. It's easier to update your information than it is to try and merge accounts.
Cameron, I'm here on the call if you want me to address that question, just so it's on the recording. Yes. Yeah. Hi, Jenna. So I'm Vanessa Luxon. I am on the other side of the STAR project. I'm on the Links team, but I often answer help desk questions. So there is not a way to merge accounts, Jenna. So we definitely recommend only having one links account, using an existing one if you have it. If not, open just one new one. And if you ever have any questions, reach out to the links help desk. We can make sure the link is somewhere for people to access that. If you have any trouble, you can't log in, you're blocked, your password won't reset, any of that stuff, reach out to us. We can get you going.
And then I saw a hand raised. I don't know if it is anymore. Are there any other questions?
My hand was raised. I was going to ask, can we just update our email address on our profile? Will that update it?
There's actually a couple steps behind the scenes. So it really is best if you reach out to the help desk and we can update your email.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And for those of you who might not have seen, we've just had that link for contacting links about your links account in our chat. All right, any other questions about signing in? Okay, so just to give you a brief overview of what we will spend the rest of our time walking through. I can get my links to work. We're going to focus the rest of our time on taking a tour of the STAR Links course. So Cheryl will take over. We will highlight a number of different things, including what is the same, so what should be familiar to you, what is a little bit different, and then making sure that you know where those resources are, especially for those of you who have a cohort who has begun or will be beginning very soon. So Cheryl, I'll let you take the screen back over.
Okay. All right, back on our, actually we are on the My STAR info page. I'm gonna go back to the STAR home for the trainer view. Yeah, just to reiterate again, the STAR menu and STAR sections are all on the left-hand side here. And what's underneath your username are your links options. So, and the My STAR info is just pertaining to the STAR course, the usual kind of options. The one thing that's different is the About Me section. You can edit that profile description here, but just this does take you out, and you have to do that down description right there. But this does take you out be at the links dashboard here. So to get back to STAR, just click back here and you'll be back. This menu, wait, I'm just going to go into this again. Just to note that the STAR discussions are over here in the left menu as well. And STAR has its own forum section that's distinct from the links forums as well. So you can just, in the same way as the current STAR site, you can talk to your teams or your cohort here in this kind of dedicated discussion area. STAR Help is kind of general info about STAR. And the resources are all here on a dedicated page in the same way that they are on the current site. The resource for state leads and for trainers also available here. And the home will always take you back to the home screen here. Now you can click through to your teams, which you will hopefully be happy to see looks very much the same as the current dashboard. It is the same look, it's the same functionality. You will see where everybody is on the dashboard. We only have one person in here at the moment. And you'll be able to approve and unapprove and just check everybody's status on the dash as you can now. I guess we should start by, adding some content? I'll go to one of the later sections. This is set up in a similar way. You have your introduction. You can watch the e-learning module, launch it from here. There's one additional step to get to the e-learning module. If you enter the module, it launches on the page. You can click back to the portfolio here. You can just exit the activity here. For the trainers, that takes you back. For participants, that will just take you back to the participant dashboard here. I'm going to also toggle between a participant dash. I think that'll make things a bit easier. So this is where participants land, the same place that they land now. This is the dashboard that they see. So I'm going to just submit some test content. Again, we have the student data. Toggles back and forth, same way. So this will look a little bit different after something is submitted. When participants first submit something, it's automatically submitted as a draft. And I can actually just pop back to the dashboard. And you can see that the draft is there. So that gives participants a chance to review their work initially before they submit it for feedback. Something that's a little different on this form is also the comments section. You can just add comments here. And they show up there on the document. We can still add external documents here. If I go back to my participant dash, you can see now it's awaiting feedback. And this is my trainer dashboard awaiting feedback. So this is what the trainer sees. You see the submission, student data. You can also toggle that back and forth. And the option to approve or, crucially, needs action. In the same way, this changes over here. Approve. Changed your mind. Go back in, unapprove. And that changes on the student dash as well. So this is all similar. Unapprove is different and hopefully helpful. This is all similar to the current site. So hopefully should not cause too much trouble with the participants.
Jana, do you have a question before we move forward?
Yeah, sorry,
I do. So in the past, we were not able to see any submission dates except the most recent date. But I'm wondering if on the new site, if we can track their submissions. Because one of the problems we would have is, when you go back and forth with the participants and they're editing their portfolio submissions, it didn't always show us the date. So when it only shows the date of the most recent one, if that makes sense. And we
Yeah, and
couldn't see a history, right? Like the tracking of the back and forth. So sometimes I would go back and see, oh, wow, it looks like this person's portfolio submission sat here for 2 months without any action, but really it was us going back and forth.
Okay. Oh, I can see on this one that it has a last modified date. So is that what you're asking?
We're saying, yeah, so we only see the last modified, but not the steps along the way.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, you see the most recent one.
Thank you.
And yeah, just Cameron, just let me know if there are any questions because I can't see. I'm looking at my screen here. I can't see if there are any hands raised.
Absolutely.
So what else should we take a look at here? I think for the participant side, we can take a look at the assessment notes. So again, similar to what's on the current site, participants are able to create and edit notes under the 4 different areas. There's just some sample notes here. If I edit them, you get these drop downs, and then you can add for the different components. Save. But for viewing, it's these tabs, which are a little bit easier to view. I'm going to go back to the alphabetic section. So a major new content area is that we now have content for program administrators. So it will be on the same page as the instructors, but hopefully it'll be fairly clear which one to go to. And it's separate content and it's separate portfolio sections. So here, it's the reflections, just kind of a checklist for what they have done in relation to the participants, linked to a document that will help in these sections. And you would submit it the same way, and the trainers would review it the same way, and it would show up in the dashboard the same way. I'm not going to do that now because I've already submitted something as a participant, so we'll just leave that. But this will hopefully help with the program administrators just having their own separate track, and that is for a good chunk of the, each module has their own separate program administrator track now. Now, something I'm just going to mention is that in Moodle, let me go back to my trainer view here.
While you're switching, Tana, you had a question?
Yeah, they used to be able to have the trainers. I don't know if they'll still identify when we would get a submission, we had the option to come through our email telling us there was a submission. Will that still happen?
Yes, it will.
Where do you turn that on, or does it just happen automatically?
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually in Moodle, you can turn that on. Right now it's happening automatically. I guess we can decide. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's an option. That's a good question. I'm going to write down. Something else I wanted to mention is that in Moodle, we should have the option to, or the trainers should have the option to look at the course from a different role, so you can see what the participants see. We don't have that up and running just yet, but we will, because obviously you need to be able to see that, and we won't have state test users, but we will get that. It should be, when it appears, it will be here in this left menu as a switch role option, and you should be able to switch to participant role so you can kind of see what they're seeing. I'm just looking at my list here to see what else we wanted to highlight. And yeah, the next thing we want to look at is Module 12A. There are a few differences in 12A. So going into, just going to open up my student data chart. So this participant has already indicated instructional priorities for their students. I'm going to go in and show where that's done. If you edit for student A, there's a section down on the student data chart now where you can decide on instructional priorities. I'm going to uncheck vocabulary. And then whatever you've checked shows up in gray on the chart. So I unchecked vocabulary, so that's not highlighted anymore. I think this will make it a little bit easier to kind of see where things are. And then from 12A on, then every summary student data chart that shows in sections 2 and 3 will retain these highlights. And of course, the participants can change them at any time as they're going through and as the students' needs change. And then down below, the instructional priorities chart just kind of lays out then on its own based on what they have checked up here. Then looking at the instructional priorities chart, participants can create the groupings under each of the 4 components. Alphabetics always just sorts automatically based on what they've indicated in the chart. If you click under the other components, you get your list of students and the levels. What you would do is enter a level here and then select 1 or more students to go into that group. And that would be the same for each of the other components. So we're hoping this will be a little bit easier, both for the participants and for the trainers to see what's going on at each step and to kind of make a decision based on what's gone before. Okay, yes, that just saves as a draft. I can submit it for feedback. And there it is, awaiting feedback. I think we just wanted to talk about, actually, I'm not sure I can, this participant probably can't access that. Yeah, okay, we do still have our gates up. So it doesn't quite look the same as the current site. Modules aren't grayed out, but if somebody tries to access a module before the trainer has given approval, and in this case, they would have had to have approval for 23. They can't get into that section. I'm going to go back to the introduction, though. Just noting that the pre and post training surveys are now in the site. Well, okay, it's telling me I've already completed that activity, which I can see on my STAR info page. Or no, I guess that just gets submitted. Anyway, the point is that they're in the site now. We don't have to go out to SurveyMonkey anymore. They're both in-house. Yep.
Yeah. So as the person who took that option away from you in my testing, I apologize.
Okay.
it is within this site. So it will look very similar. You are not toggling into a new window. It will be within the course to finish those surveys, which should hopefully help you and your participants complete the surveys because we're getting rid of one extra step and it's staying within the course itself. Yvonne, I saw that you had a question about sample students. And so to be clear, Cheryl mentioned this a moment ago. We are working to enable the functionality, but the way that Moodle works, means that as a trainer, you should be able to switch into the student view within your account. So rather than continuing to create dummy accounts or test user accounts for each cohort, because you need a Links account for a STAR account and you need a real email for a Links account, we're working within your trainer view so you can see it as a participant. Jenna asks if they'll be able to see when they've completed surveys. That is a really good question. I haven't spent a lot of time playing with the survey functionality in this course yet. So Cheryl, maybe you're a little bit more familiar with whether the trainer can see if the survey is completed, or if an admin needs to look at that.
Yeah, I am not actually familiar with that. And I was just looking at this now and trying to see. Yeah, I thought you'd be able to see it on the participant info page, but I don't see it there. So we'll have to figure out where that goes once it's completed, where the notification goes.
We have STAR administrators, much as we did in the past course. So if there are reports that are only available to administrators, such as a completion list or completion rate for that survey, then that's something that we can share with you on request if you are not able to access it for the course. So I think that is kind of our pre-selected list of things we wanted to take some time to show you. Before we move into next steps, is there anything that you want to look at, anything that you have questions about, anything you want to go back and see again?
You may cover this later. For our participants especially, I see at the top of the page there's a report technical issues. If you can tell us a little bit about what that'll look like.
That's actually, those are actually links. So yeah, that's for the broader site. For the STAR site, still go to the STAR help desk, which is the Links help desk.
So there's the STAR help on the left-hand side.
So this, you still go to STAR support.
And that will take you to someone who is familiar with the STAR course. If you were having issues with the larger Links platform, not just something within STAR like a broken link, that's a STAR problem. If it's a course error, then you can go to the larger Links piece.
I like that you have the frequently common problems like the gates and that there. So I just didn't read fast enough on the STAR help, but they can either click that button and that will directly get a message to STAR if it's like a broken link or something like that, or they can email. Is that right? Or is it just email?
Right. This is the email that goes to the STAR support desk. Yeah.
Okay, so they should email then. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So if you click that link, and this will depend on your personal computer settings, but if you click that link, it should pop up in your default email.
Sure.
And from whatever your default email is to the course. So for Cheryl, it's this email support system, right? But if you use a different application on your computer, it should pop up as a default. I know for some people that default isn't the one that they use. So if you want it to go to a different email, I would copy that link into the email you want to get a response to.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any other questions? Yeah.
I do have a question. I guess when you were showing us how to approve or needs action in there, can you show us exactly how the participant would put numbers, scores from tests into a field?
Into the student data form?
What time is that?
Participants working and they've done, let's just say vocabulary, they would go in here and this is obviously filled out, but do they just click in that space and put the number?
So you go in and edit individual students. So in this little edit icon, and it's very similar form to what we have now. So you go in, fill out the level, number of words correct at that level. Then you pick the instructional level and save, or go back and do another component.
Okay, that's what I needed. Thank you.
Sure. So is there anything else we should look at here?
Honestly, I think we just need a little bit of time to be able to play with it ourselves and just kind of find our way around. It's great to have a guide, but until you get in there and play around, it's hard to say.
That is true.
Well, thank you for that transition. So that's perfect timing. So I will go ahead and take over the screen share, Cheryl. And all right. So what we have coming up next, we have our next steps. So yes, today was just about giving you a chance to look and see for yourself what this looks like. But as you pointed out, it's really helpful to get in there yourself. So what we are asking of you is we have the webinar scheduled on Thursday. We will do a slight review of everything that we covered today, and then we'll give you some hands-on time within the course for you to start navigating around on your own within that webinar. So in order to do that, we need to make sure that you have a Links account and that we've got you enrolled in your STAR course. I will send out an email with all this information as well, but in order to make sure that we've got you enrolled for the course by the 28th, please by the 27th, either create or reactivate your Links account. You can do that through the links.ed.gov. And then once you have a Links account, then you'll want to request access to the STAR course. In order to request access to the STAR course, you'll want to email us at the starsupport@links.ed.gov address. And in that request, include your full name and the email account that you used to create your Links account or that is already associated with your Links account. Because we will use that to look you up and enroll you in the course. And obviously, if you have any issues with any of these steps in the meantime, reach out to us at the STAR support email. I can get in touch with you. We can resolve any issues that you're running into to make sure that you've got into the course in time for Thursday's webinar. And as a reminder for that, our next webinar will be this Thursday, September 28th at noon Eastern time. And it's just as it sounds, right? You've got a Links account, you're in the STAR course, what now? We'll do a tour. We'll have one of our facilitators help walk you through an option to start playing around in the course yourself and testing out some of the functionality. And then you should have received an email from me last week that is an optional invitation to a virtual office hour on Friday. We're going to keep that also at noon. Cheryl and I will be there and available for you to drop in at any time between noon and 1 with any questions that you have, any issues that you have, anything that you want to address with us. We're just there and we're free for you. According to your schedule, we don't have any set plans or presentation. It's just there as an open office hour for you. Yeah, Tana.
As much as we appreciate that, Judy and I will be in the middle of a training that day, yep. So we won't have an option to ask questions. So the major question that we have is about what date will our participants have access to this platform?
Yeah. So you all are our first priority. I did send out an email with all of you all, to all of you all last week. Once we have a cohort and accounts and everything set up for you all, then our next priority is all of our states that have started training or are starting training. So that includes you. So as this is also a little bit new to us. So our cohort creation in the first couple rounds will be a little bit slower than usual, but we should be able to pick up speed since we've got a couple that we're going to be doing back to back. I aim to have every cohort in every state ready to go by next Monday. So you should not, especially if you were starting on Friday, you should not have a lag in access to the course.
Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Hi, it's Carla again.
Hi.
Your frequent flyer here. We just closed our registration for seeing who's interested, and now we have the very good problem of seeing how many are going to. We have a great response, and so anyway, what my question is how much lead time do you need to set up our cohort ahead of our cohort starting? Like, I'm assuming we'll go to the STAR help desk and ask, give you all the names and emails. How much lead time do you need?
So in the past, we have asked for 2 weeks. We don't typically require 2 weeks, but especially during busy times, we want to make sure that you have what you need in time. So we ask for 2 weeks warning. And the same documents that we needed before are what we'll need now, right? We need names, we need addresses, and we need email addresses, obviously, sorry. And then your team assignments. So that's what we would want 2 weeks ahead of time. What we want to make sure now that we're building this within Lynx, just as we're asking you for the email that's associated with your Lynx account, we would want the email that is associated with your participant's Lynx account.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So I sent in a request to change my email address. Which email address do you then want us to send to you as a STAR? I sent it in while we were talking because that's what they told me to do. Which email do you want, or both?
For this situation, let's go ahead. Let me know which one you had. Let me know which one you're trying to go to. Since we're doing this in a pretty quick turnaround, that way we'll see which one is the correct one at the time.
So send both of them.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, and just in your email, just let me know the situation.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. If there are no other questions, then I will give you all some time back. But I'm here and happy to continue to answer any questions that you have. Just let me know. Otherwise, thank you for your time today, and I will see you all on Thursday.
Cameron, this is Grayla. I would love it if I could just have a couple of minutes with you and Cheryl. I don't want to bog everybody else down in my personal